Hi everyone, thanks for joining us for Yoga on the River. And today we're doing gentle yoga on the river. Hi, I'm Sue, and I've got a couple of props here to use during the practice. A couple of blocks, a strap, a bolster, and a blanket. Grab whatever you need or whatever you'd like to use. We're going to start today in a wide-kneed child's pose. So separate your knees a little wider than your hips. Press the hips back, reach the arms forward. If you're feeling like your body wants a little bit of support in this wide-kneed child's pose, grab a cushion or a bolster, place it under your belly and chest, and then find a comfortable spot. Now you might adjust a couple of times until you find the place that's just right for you. We're going to spend a few moments here in this wide-kneed child's pose. So settle into your hips, find some comfort there. Allow your spine to feel long. Reach gently through your fingertips, lengthening the arms. Come into a space that feels gentle, that feels peaceful. Begin to notice your breath, that gentle lift or rise as you inhale, and then feel softening as you exhale. Each time you exhale the breath, you just might feel like you're settling in a little bit deeper, a little bit further into your child's pose. Just let the ebb and flow of your breath lull you into that peaceful space. Settle in just a bit more. And then start to make your way out of it. You'll come up to your seat. You can come into easy pose. That's what I will do, cross the shins. But you could have the feet out in front of you, legs straight, or sitting in a kneeling posture if that's better. Sit up nice and tall, lengthen the spine. And then start to work some shoulder rolls. Roll the shoulders up, back, and down. We'll do this a few times. Just feel the shoulder blades on your back. And then you'll work in the opposite direction. So bring the shoulder blades up toward your ears, forward and release. Squeeze, squeeze up, forward and let go. And just one more time. And then start to work the neck a little bit here. Draw some circles with your nose. So just drawing circles in the air. Start with a small circle, and then the circles get a little bit bigger and a little bit bigger. Just mindful of how you feel on the neck, so never going past that place where it feels all right for you. And then you'll start to draw a big circle in the opposite direction. The circles eventually get a little bit smaller and a little bit smaller until eventually you're right back where you started, chin level, neck nice and long. And bring your right arm forward, bring the arm across your chest, left arm hooks the right, and then just feel here. Maybe feel a little bit of a stretch on the back of your right shoulder. Release on that side, left arm reaches forward, come across the chest, right arm hooks. So you're pulling with that right arm, pressing your left shoulder to the left, so pressing it away. And then release on that side. You're going to bring your right arm up, pat yourself on the back. You might use the left hand to guide your elbow up toward the sky. Feel a nice stretch in your triceps here, nice length in the triceps. Release the right side, left arm reaches up, bend the elbow, pat yourself on the back, and then use that right arm just to guide your arm, your shoulder, into the right space for you. Stay tall and long through the spine, long through the neck. And then release. And just feel the shoulders and the neck. Maybe you already feel a little more open than when you started. Now grab your strap. It could be a belt or a rope or really anything. It doesn't have to be a yoga strap. And then you're going to take the strap between your hands so they're about shoulder width apart and feel like you're pulling your hands away from one another. Now reach up toward the sky, still pulling the hands away from one another. gently feel like it's a real subtle movement. You're pulling your shoulder blades together and then down toward your hips. Sit up tall, little bit of core work to sit up tall. And then release the hands down. Now you're going to widen that space between your arms so you're more than shoulder width apart, and then just press the hands back. So feel the chest start to open up, feels so nice. Maybe you feel the upper arm starting to open. Start to pull your right hand down and press your left hand up. So pull and press. Try to keep both arms straight as you're working here. And then you'll start to switch to the other side. So come through center, and then left hand pulls down. So it's actively pulling down. Right arm is actively pulling up. Feel the difference between the right side and the left side. You're doing different work here, but still stretching. Come on back through center. You can bring the strap down and maybe widen the space just a little bit more. And then press your arms back and then find the perfect spot for you. So it might be all the way down toward your hips feels best. I like it here sort of right in the middle, pressing back, opening up. Feel the heart open. And then release. Bring the strap back around. You can put the strap to the side. Or you'll use it later, so just make sure it stays nearby. You're going to come back through that tabletop position. So come into a neutral spine, knees underneath your hips, wrists right underneath your shoulders, and then start to work some cows and cats. Press your heart forward on the inhale breath, little back bend. As you exhale, chin to your chest, round the spine. When you're ready to inhale the breath, come back into that back bend, squeeze the shoulders together, tip your tailbone up. As you exhale, press the hands in the mat, pull the shoulder blades apart, draw the tailbone down. And take one more full cycle of breath, one more cow tilt, one more cat roll. And then come on back into that neutral spine, that nice flat back. Now extend your right heel back, lift your heel so it's level with your hip. If you like, you can reach the left fingertips forward. You can always touch down. You need a little bit of to steady yourself. Or you can stay in tabletop balance with one leg lifted and one arm lifted. Feel nice and long here. Little bit of stability, core strengthening. Come on back into tabletop, all 4 points on the floor, and move to the other side. So left leg extends, left leg lifts. And then right arm might reach forward, option to bring the hand down for a little bit of stability. If you're staying in this tabletop balance, extending the leg and the arm, feel active through that extension. So actively press out through the heel and reach forward through the fingertips. And when you're ready, make your way back into your tabletop. We'll press the right heel back, and you can stay here, maybe tap the toes to the floor, looking for a little movement. Looking for a different movement. As you exhale, bring your knee to your nose. On the inhale, extend. As you exhale, rounding, knee to nose. Inhale, lengthen. Continue to move at your pace with your breath. Remember, you can always come back into tabletop and wait there. You're still working a little bit in that tabletop position. Everyone meets back in tabletop. Start to work the other side. So left leg extends, maybe just a little toe tap here. So that's working, that's moving. Maybe knee to nose. So working the knee toward the nose on the exhale breath in that general direction. Rounding, feeling your core muscles, your back muscles working at your pace. And then releasing back into your tabletop. So revisit that child's pose. Not quite a long hold this time, or as long a hold. Press the hips back. You might move a little bit here, sway the hips side to side. You can always move your head right to left. Just feel good in this child's pose. come back through tabletop. And then you're going to come on to your back. So make sure the strap is nearby. Come on down flat to the mat. We'll start off with a little bit of wind removing. Bring your right knee toward your chest. Now here you can interlace the fingers on top of your knee, or you can bring your hands to the thigh behind your knee. Flex your ankles and just gently pull your knee toward your chest as you exhale the breath. Switching sides, bring the left knee toward your chest. Find the right grip for you. Stay active through both of your legs by flexing the ankles. And then just try to isolate the strength to the biceps, gently pulling as you exhale. Soften through the neck and the shoulders. Now release that side. You're coming into this full wind removing, so both knees come to the chest. Hands could be behind the knees if that's your preference. Pull down with your arm strength, press up with leg strength. Let the feet come down to the floor. Windshield wiper the knees a little side to side, right to left. Release a little tension. Working with the strap, so grab your strap. You're going to place it around the bottom of your right foot and just press the foot into the strap as you straighten your leg. Now the left knee can remain bent, or you can straighten the left leg. A nice passive stretch here. You've got your hands on the strap and you're pulling your foot, your leg toward you. Trying again to isolate the muscle strength to the biceps, soften through the shoulders and the neck, and soften through your leg. So leg is not doing any work here. You're gently pulling as you breathe out. Now you're going to take the strap into your left hand and guide your leg across the midline of your body. So just enough to feel a bit of a stretch, maybe on the outside of your leg. Right hand could be on your right hip. You want the right hip to be on the mat. So you've got this connection of your hips and your shoulders to the floor. Just pulling with arm strength. Now switch the grip to the other hand. So right hand takes the strap and gently pulls the leg down toward the floor and slightly up toward your head. You might have your left hand on your left hip just so that you keep that connection. The hip doesn't lift off the floor. So feel this beautiful stretch. Maybe you feel this through the inner thigh, maybe the back of your thigh. Just enjoy. And then come on back through center. We're going to work differently now, so isometric strength. You're going to pull down with arm strength and press up with leg strength. So pull and press. Keep your mind attentive and focused to this strength. Pull and press. Same idea when we pull the leg across the midline. So left hand takes the strap. You're pulling with your left arm strength. You're also pressing your right leg away, so they're moving in opposite directions. Notice how it feels different when that leg is working actively or working passively. And come on back through center, let go of the strap on that side, and then maybe a little bit of movement in between. Start to work on the left side, bringing the strap underneath your left foot, press into the strap to straighten the leg. Right leg can extend if you want. And then we'll start with that passive stretch. So the leg, the back of the leg is receiving the stretch without doing the work. Your arms are doing the work here. Notice if there's any tension through the neck or the jaw. Those parts of your body aren't doing the work either. So release. Just let the arms work. Maybe pulling just a little bit deeper, lengthening the back of your left leg. I'll take the strap into your right hand and just pull your leg across the midline of your body. Left hand can remind you to keep your left hip on the floor, on the mat. Maybe you feel a nice passive stretch on the side of your leg here. So just the arm is working here. Come back through center. You're going to work that stretch, the stretch for the inner thigh. So left hand takes your foot down toward the floor. Find the right place. It feels right for your leg, feels right in your hip. Right hand can be on the right hip, just reminding your hips to stay level on the floor. And just allow the passive stretch to work here. Feel the opening come to your body. Let your body receive the stretch, no force. And then come on back through center. We'll start to work into the isometric stretching. So arm strength pulls the leg toward your chest, and then leg strength presses in the opposite direction. Pull and press. This is a really gentle way to work strength and a really effective way to work strength in your body. Pull and press. And then release the leg. Right hand will take the strap just across the midline of the body. Pull down with your arm strength and press away with your leg strength. Press and pull. So you also have control over how much strength you're using here, how much strength you're building. And come on back through center. You'll release the strap and then put the strap to the side. I'll do a little bit of strength work again here. So lift your right leg toward the sky. Left leg might extend. And then really slowly, slow motion, let your foot come down toward the floor. Now, your arms are out wide just for a little extra stability. Slowly lowering that foot down. And then let it touch. So work the other side, left leg up toward the sky. Very slowly begin to allow the leg to drop toward the floor. So you may feel some work happening here, and really think about where it is that you feel it. Could be you feel the leg strengthening, the hip flexors, maybe the core working. Let the foot come all the way down to the mat, and then you've got some options. You can either do both feet at the same time, or you can repeat right side and then left side. So first set, if you're doing both legs, hands can be under the hips, gently allowing the heels to drop very slowly toward the floor. If you've got both legs coming down at the same time, maybe it feels like you're doing a little bit more strengthening through your body. Really slowly letting the heels come. They're almost there, and then touching the floor. And then lifting back up, you can do the opposite leg if you're doing one leg at a time. Looking for a variation for both legs, lift your head and shoulders off the floor and slowly let the heels drop down to the floor. And slow it down, feel some strength. And then let the heels come all the way down, release. A little bit of relief here, windshield wiper the knees, soften the hips, soften the low back. Now you can rock and roll a few times to get up. If you have any back issues, it's better to use your arm strength to help you up. And then you'll make your way back through your tabletop position. Come back to all fours. And then find downward facing dog. So if down dog doesn't feel great for you, go ahead and bring the knees back to the floor for tabletop. If you like down dog, pedal it out, sway the hips, feel your body here. Now, once you've moved a little bit, come into stillness and start to refine your posture. So spread the fingers nice and wide. Feel the knuckle pads. So where your fingers and the palm of your hand meet, feel the knuckle pads really making a connection to the earth. Now you can have a bend in your knees if you like, or you can straighten the legs and press the heels toward the mat. Now if you're pressing down through the heels, feel the hips lift up, lengthen here. Feel a long spine, there's still engagement through the core. When you're ready, you'll start to walk your feet up to meet your fingers and come into a ragdoll. So this ragdoll, just soften over. So soften the upper body over the lower body. Maybe move the hips or shake the head a little bit. Find some relief, some release. And begin to make your way up to standing. So standing on your mat, you're going to arrange your body into mountain pose. Look down at your feet. You want to see that your feet are about hip width apart. Strengthen through the feet. Feel nice and strong through the legs. Feel strong through the core. Draw the shoulders back and down. Now notice the core, low belly pulls in. Ribs start to pull toward one another. Neck nice and long. This is your mountain. Your inhale breath, reach your arms up toward the sky. As you exhale, fold forward with a flat back. You can always bend your knees if you want. Come into this forward fold, maybe straighten the legs a little more this time, feel a little more stretchy. Nice inhale, half lift, flat back, and then fold forward. Your next inhale breath, reach out, reach up, come up with a flat back, and then come into your mountain pose. Do that twice more. On your inhale breath, reach out and reach up, nice and tall body. Exhale, fold from your hips, flat back. When you're ready, that half lift, hands either to the shins or the thighs, draw the shoulder blades together. As you exhale, you'll come back into a forward fold. And then make your way back up to standing. Reach up high. And finally, mountain pose. And you'll do that just one more time. On the inhale breath, reach up toward the sky. On your exhale breath, fold. When you're ready on the inhale, half lift, hands to the shins or the thighs. Exhale and fold. And then reaching out and up, lift up toward the sky. And come into your mountain. And working a back bend from here. Take the hands to the low back, fingertips point down, and try to get your elbows to squeeze toward one another. Feel your chest already open. You could stay here. You could tilt the chin up toward the sky, or maybe feel like you're opening the chest up toward the sky. Gentle supported back bend. Come back through center. You could do that back bend again, or reach up toward the sky, loop your thumbs and feel like you're pulling your hands away from one another, and then reach the hands back, lift the heart up. Come on back through center, find your mountain pose. Now working into some variations of Warrior Two, separate your feet not quite as far as you would for your standard warrior, so a little wider than your hips. Point your right toes toward the top of the mat. Hands to your hips just so you can feel that your hips are level, and then start to bend the knee as you exhale. On your inhale breath, straighten the leg. Exhale, bend the knee, maybe the arms are wide. Inhale and straighten. Exhale, a little bend in the knee. Your inhale breath, straighten the leg. Just one more time with your breath. And then change, hands to your hips, pivot the toes, left toes out. Now, make sure the hips are nice and level before you start, and then as you exhale, bend the knee. Just make sure the knee doesn't go past your ankle. We'll do this a few more times. Exhale, bent knee. Inhale, straighten the leg. Arms out wide if you'd like. You can always keep the hands at the waist or the hips if that feels more stable. And bend the knee on the exhale breath. And straighten the leg on the inhale. I'll come back through center. This time, if you felt like it was too easy, widen your stance a little bit. So ideally, ankles come right underneath your wrists here. I'll point the right toes out. Exhale, bend the knee. Inhale, lengthen. Exhale, bend. Inhale, lengthen. Arms wide if you prefer. Just a few more breaths here, bending on the exhale breath. And then the next time you bend the knee, you're going to hold. Now, arms can be extended or hands at your waist. Both are good. Try to stack your shoulders over your waist. And then reach out through your fingertips. Feel that your arms are active. Sink the hips a little bit lower. Pull the low belly in. And then change. Straighten the leg. Take your hands to your waist. So modified triangle here. Just start to bend toward your extended leg, your right leg. If you want to add triangle arms, that's perfect. Just extend the arms in opposite directions. Arms nice and long. Gazing up if it's okay for your neck. Come on back through center. You'll pivot the right toes in, left toes out, and then play on this side. So exhaling, bend the knee. Inhale, straighten. Find the rhythm of your breath. Arms could extend if you want them to. Keep the hands at the waist if you prefer. And when you're ready, you're going to hold the leg. So bring your knee right over your ankle. Feel yourself nice and strong here. So both legs active. Pull your feet toward one another. Lengthen a little bit so crown of the head reaches high. Strong. And begin to straighten the front leg, hands to your waist, and then work that modified triangle. So just start to tilt or tip toward that extended leg. Full triangle if you like. Notice how the legs feel here, strengthening and stretching. Notice how the side body feels, right side body. Begin to release out of it. Pivot the toes forward. Make sure your hips feel good here, and then start to work into a forward fold, wide-legged forward fold. Now, if your head touches the ground, just bring your feet a little bit closer together and then find your fold. You'll just feel the back of the legs get a good stretch here. And then begin to release, come back up to standing. You could heel toe the feet together, walk the feet together. Working on a little bit of balance here. So first of all, you want to find your footing, find your feet, find your mountain pose. Hands at your waist. Now we're going to come into stork, and you can always use a block as a bit of an assist. So left leg will take the weight. You can place the right foot on the block and then just lift the toes when it feels good. If you feel like you don't need the block, then you'll lift your knee so that your knee is in line with your hip. I'll flex the ankle. Do your best here to keep your shoulders right over your hips, your spine nice and tall. And then remember to breathe here. Keep the breath moving. Could always hold on to a wall if you're at home and you want a little more stability, just a little bit of help. And release on that side. If you're using the block, just take the block over to the other side. You can shift the weight into your right foot. You can bring the left toes on top of the block. Maybe just lift the toes, just checking it out. How do you feel on this side? Now, if you are at home and you're using the wall, you can have your hands on the wall, and then as you feel steady, you take your hand away. So it just hovers. If you need to touch the wall or want to touch the wall, it's right there. And then just release on that side. You can move the block out of the way if you were using a block. You'll come down onto your seat, and working into a dragonfly pose here, you are going to be long on your mat so that when you separate the heels are still on your mat. I'll flex the ankles. We're going to stretch the right side body first. So left fingertips reach toward your toes, maybe toward your shin or your ankle. And then start to reach the right arm up and over. Now when I start to reach for my toes, the shoulder comes forward, and that's out of alignment. So instead of touching the toes with the right fingers, I'm just going to reach out in space and feel long through the side body. Looking up toward the sky if that works for you. Keep the legs strong here. Flexing your ankles. Feel the stretch through the body. Now come on back through center. And this time you'll take your right hand to reach to the other side. Maybe it's the shin, ankle, maybe you got the toes there. So begin to work into that stretch, side body stretch. Keep the shoulders stacked. So try to draw your top shoulder back a little bit, and then just feel the back of your legs, feel the inside of your thighs. And when you're ready, start to make your way back through center. And you'll start to bring the upper body through center. So you could just bring your hands to the floor. You could also bring your hands on top of a block if you feel really tight. If you're feeling a little more open, you might bring the elbows down onto the block. You could also bring your elbows down to the floor and stay there. If you got a lot of space here, so really open through the hips, the legs, you can come all the way down, make a little pillow with your hands, let your forehead rest there. Now you're still active, so you'll do your best to flex the ankles and point the toes up toward the sky. Feel the back of your legs, feel the inner thighs. Beautiful, beautiful stretch here. Just breathe into it. Soften a little bit more as you exhale. And slowly start to release, so press your hands into the floor or the mat to lift up. Working into a butterfly pose, you'll bring the soles of your feet to touch and then adjust your feet where they are in space. So you could bring the heels closer to the body. You could bring the heels farther away. Just think about what your hips like here. You can always bring blocks underneath the knees if you want a little bit of support. Come forward with a flat back to start. Gently draw your shoulder blades together, lengthen the spine. And then when it's right for you, you can begin to round. Bring your forehead in the direction of the floor. So certainly you don't have to bring your forehead to your feet, but you're just rounding the spine in that general direction. Soften through your hips. Notice if you have a lot of tension through the glutes or the hips, do your best to release and just receive that stretch. And slowly start to leave the posture, so lift up out of it. You're coming onto your back, so maybe as you come onto your back, maybe a little bit of movement through the hips and the low back. And then start to prepare for a supine twist. So scoot the hips over just a bit toward the right. Knees come into your chest, and then let your knees fall over to the left. Now you can always extend through that bottom leg. It'll be the left leg on this side, and that might feel like the twist just got a little twistier. Feel your right shoulder gently falling toward the earth. You could shift your gaze toward the right fingertips if that feels right on your neck. Now just enjoy this twist through the spine. Notice how you feel from your hips all the way to your shoulders. You might use that left hand to very gently pull your knee a little closer toward the floor. And then come on back through center, readjust your hips. You'll scoot your hips a little bit over toward the left and then let the knees fall over to the right. Had some friends just say hello there, a little bit distracting. That's okay. Gently come into the twist that feels perfect for your body, amazing for your body. So do your best to relax into this. Just allow the body to be here. Slowly start to bring yourself back through center. Just adjust your hips and take a little movement here. So it could be another wind removing. You could do a happy baby. Grab the outside edges of your feet, gently pull down and press up. Maybe rock a little side to side. Just get your body ready for that final posture of Shavasana. So traditional Shavasana, the legs are straight, your feet are about hip width apart, arms out wide, palms open. So for me, that's not so good on the low back, so I like to bend the knees, bring the knees to touch, and then separate the feet a little bit wider than the hips. You might adjust the shoulder blades in just a little bit, feel a little bit of length through the back of your neck, and just come into that space of peaceful calm. That space where your body can receive all the benefits of your practice. That space where you feel completely still. Allow the breath to be wherever the breath wants to be. So maybe these are smaller breaths, more shallow breaths. That's perfect. Let your body fill with calm, your mind fill with calm. Now you stay in this Shavasana as long as you like. It's been an honor and a pleasure to help guide you through this practice. Namaste.